Welcome to New Vibrations, a dynamic wellness and leadership enhancement program for women leaders and entrepreneurs. As you are about to discover in this brief overview, New Vibrations was inspired by and designed to achieve just that, a renewal of energy and vibrancy and elevated well-being that may have diminished within women leaders in recent years in perhaps today's tumultuous and maybe soul depleting landscape. Additionally, as we will present momentarily, New Vibrations, unlike most other leadership and executive coaching programs, takes a very multi-dimensional approach. Hello, I am Lisa Kelly, founder, facilitator, and coach of the New Vibrations program. And joining me is Melody Biblo, a graduate of our programs, including our Certified Executive Wellness Coach program. And she's also a fellow certified holistic nutritionist. Hello, Melody, and welcome.
Good morning, Lisa.
So, Melody and I are going to, briefly present the top 10 benefits of New Vibrations to illuminate the many transformative opportunities and advantages of this dynamic program. So, benefit number one, New Vibrations is a very unique, four-dimensional, personalized, and partnered approach designed to foster optimal well-being and vitality for women leaders and managers, executives, and entrepreneurs. So why does this matter? Well, executive coaching often adopts a very singular approach, focusing solely on leadership skills or maybe well-being in isolation, which can limit and produce suboptimal results sometimes. And when coaching programs neglect to integrate both areas, leaders may develop technical competencies or strategic insights without addressing the crucial underlying issues, maybe such as their nutrition or fitness conditioning, stress mastery, emotional resilience, or physical health, all of which are foundational to sustained performance. And as we may know, this fragmented approach can really lead to short-term improvements but maybe fail to create lasting change or, maybe foster a healthy and truly empowered leader. And so, to achieve meaningful, durable outcomes, effective coaching really needs to consider the whole person, the mind, the body, the spirit, and the leadership skills, of course, in a very cohesive and holistic approach. And I would argue that only then can leaders really fully unlock their full potential, maintain maybe their resilience under pressure, and perhaps generate a more profound and lasting impact within themselves and their organizations. So, as a participant in this program, in addition to enhancing your well being, you're going to really cultivate a sense of self trust and boldness, enabling you to perhaps embrace your authority, your voice, and your vision with what I like to call unwavering conviction as the strong leader you are. And so, Melody, I'm just going to invite you to share anything there that comes to mind with what I just shared.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, it's one thing, it's very, I think, left brain to be focused just on the leadership skills and that, left brain thinking type of thing.
Mm,
But our whole body well-being is absolutely foundational to be able to execute those.
yeah.
If you're not feeling well, if you haven't slept well, if you haven't mastered stress, and stress is like taking over, especially with women as we get into our prime years. um, it can be very detrimental to be able to carry out those functions.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely foundational. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you for that. And so, benefit number two, which we just touched on, is multi, again, it's very multifaceted. We're going to look at holistic nutrition and intuitive eating and everything in between, right? As it says on the screen, mindful eating, nutrition dense, hormone, and gut microbalancing strategies. That's a real mouthful there. But really, as I like to say, this dimension is going to help you break free of the food noise. We've been hearing a lot of that, in context of GLP-1s these days. And we'll probably touch on, of course, that topic and, vet questions and, questions relating to such. But, we're really going to help you break free from food noise and the addiction of today's hyper processed foods, especially those high in fat, maybe sugar and salt. And so here's what I like to call the bottom line here is you're not weak, broken, or morally failing, if maybe your diet is not stellar, let's just say. Your brain and your body and your environment are doing exactly what they've been trained to do, right? And we'll get more into that into the program and what that means. But this hyper processed foods, high sugar content foods, many processed foods are really engineered to hijack your brain's reward system. And as you may know all too well, they tend to trigger like dopamine surges, fast blood sugar swings, and learn cues such as the packaging and the convenience of these foods that really do create powerful cravings and habitual behaviors. And over time, this can look and really feel like an addiction. And not because of lack of willpower, but because of biological and commercial forces stacked against you. And so when you break free from this stranglehold, you're really going to arrive at a state of health where hopefully you'll have, that newfound pep in your step and more energy and clarity of mind and vitality to be at your best and to lead at your best. And Melody, I've coached a lot of leaders and executives in the past that have struggled with these issues, right? And we've helped, bring them to the other side, if you will, right? And Melody, anything you want to comment on there?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think, once you have a good understanding that everything you eat is either like food as fuel,
Mm,
but it's not just in the carbohydrate sense. There's lots of other information available in the foods that we eat. And so it can actually contribute to, hormone stability, mood
mm,
stability, cognitive enhancement.
yeah.
So there's, going from even just the basic essentials and then into the optimizers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say, all of which, again, are foundational to our
Mhm.
ability just not only to live a healthy life, but to really perform effectively as leaders or entrepreneurs or whatever your role may be, right? And I love this quote I had found here. It says, cravings aren't just willpower, they're biology. And I mean, we're going to probably really get a deep dive into even topics like that. And I know you've got a lot to say on that, right? Yeah. And, I also want to predicate this by saying, I think I can speak for both of us that, with everything we've talked about thus far, I mean, in as much as we're health coaches and we're holistic nutritionists, we've been there. And in some cases, we still struggle with some of these challenges. Just because we have those titles behind our name doesn't mean, we're immune from these challenges, right? Sometimes on a day-to-day basis, we still have to keep ourselves in check. And I share all that to say that we understand your plight, where you're coming from, the challenges you're having. And that's the beauty about, I guess, our background and others that we'll probably bring in to help coach and facilitate this program, right?
Yeah. Well, at
Yeah.
least when we do, see those days that we are struggling with like just too many things on the to-do list, or, we're getting stretched in multiple different directions. I now just automatically know which snacks I need to
Hmm.
help keep things grounded, keep things a little calmer, keep things a little more stable. So
Nice.
they're like superpowers now.
Yeah. And they're
It's
going to be
really amazing.
some of those micro steps and micro practices we're going to talk about and that we talk about on our webpage here.
Right.
So, the benefit three is around strength and movement. And this is one of the, two of the four dimensions we talked about or we'll be talking about in the program. And so, you know, as we age, and of course, due to the negative impacts of our diets today and the sedentary lifestyles we tend to have, we are losing muscle mass and bone density at alarming rates. And, we've often heard that muscle is our metabolic burner, right? But it's also our vitality engine and really gives us the strength to perform at our best every day. And not just, again, we might think of, functional movement, but our muscles, bone density, all that does play a role into our cognitive abilities as well. And if you're not sure about that, you'll learn more about it in our program. But, I mean, I think of the best analogy of the criticality of building muscle and bone strength every day and the impacts of aging and menopause is really just to no more than think about when you've been afflicted, with a bad back. And I can vividly recall when I was writing my book a few years ago, I was actually laying down on my back for weeks trying to write a book because I pulled a muscle and, I have an ongoing back issue. And I've actually managed to really rehabilitate myself almost to a point I'm pain free. So that's a story for another day. But and I've really been working on that, and I'm a personal trainer as well. So I'll bring a lot of those insights and how I recovered into this program, right? But really think about a time when you were experiencing such and the impact it had on your spirit and your work performance. And I know, Melody, if you wanted to speak to like briefly about, your health condition in the past that you really worked on and you've come such a long way and it's made a profound difference in your life today, right?
Right. Well, absolutely. And this is going back to, a habitual way of being that I was through my 20s, 30s, like forever,
Mm,
that I was always go, go, go. I didn't care about sleep. It was just not important to me. It didn't, I thought I could just, superhuman, go through anything. But what that ended up doing was it depleted my adrenals. It derailed all of my hormones
hmm.
entirely. And it really like
Yeah,
devastated my health, like
yeah,
overall. And
yeah,
so I think, one of these underlying things that we see with women in the prime and perimenopause, menopause years is, we've had life full of things. You're trying to deal with family and careers and all these things and all the extracurricular things, and it's go, go, go. And nobody ever taught us in our 20s, take care of your stress,
yeah.
take care of your adrenals, because those babies have to pick up the pace when your
Yeah, and if you
estrogen
don't,
isn't coming from up, your
yeah,
ovaries anymore. And this is what is really triggering a lot of the challenges with people. Once you hit those menopause years, your hormone balancing and estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, they all
yeah,
matter. And once they become depleted,
yeah.
all of this muscle building and bone
Yeah.
strength really is going
And
to
it's
change.
not too late. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm doomed, I might
Exactly.
as well not bother, but it's never too late. It's never,
Oh, it's
never, never
very
too late, right?
totally reversible.
So
Yeah.
don't worry if you're in that situation, we'll help you, we'll help you address it, right? For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Our bodies are
Um,
designed to heal.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Our bodies are designed to heal for sure. Um, so, when we talk about benefit number 4, stress mastery, I mean, as leaders, you know, um, you know, things like our diet, our sleep, all have such a big impact on our stress levels, right? And so through this program, you're really going to acquire the knowledge and to develop new habits and to pick up some of these, best practices and micro practices to really help mitigate and master life and work stress and really develop new coping mechanisms for healthier living to ultimately, I guess, get off this hamster wheel that many of us are probably experiencing today, right? And then hand in hand with stress is sleep optimization, right? And so many leaders today are literally running on empty. It's sometimes a badge of honor to say, oh, I'm surviving on 2 hours sleep last night, which no, we don't want to be doing that, right? Because poor sleep heightens elevates our stress that we just talked about. And it can create that downward spiral, right? With our well-being and our performance. And
And
so
cravings.
yeah, and food cravings, yes. And through this program, you're going to be introduced to and learn how to implement, restorative sleep routines. And we've got a lot to share there. And I want to also underscore everything we're saying here that it's not just ourselves. This is going to be a very interactive program with other coaches, but also many other leaders like yourself, as participants in the program. So this program has really been designed with a lot of thought, a lot of years experience, really coming into a phenomenal, truly transformative program, right? And so, on the note of sleep, you're going to learn restorative sleep routines and healthy practices to help enhance vitality and performance. And so, think of the Venn diagram or whatever, like everything here in the program, everything we're talking about is so interconnected and interrelated here, right? Yeah. And then, the benefit 6 is, as I've just alluded to, a very highly interactive, integrative program, right? And what I also love about the way this program is designed is that you can come in at any point in time as long as this program is being offered in this current framework, which I can't imagine, why it would change. you can join the program at any time and join other leaders already in progress, and you'll have 6 months to participate in the program. And then I think I'll mention again that, by all means, if there's space, you can come in and do another 6 months if you're really enjoying the program and getting a lot out of it, right? But you're going to really experience daily inspiration and partnered accountability through working with us and through each other, right? And it's going to be I like to think, a very organic partnership happening that's really going to motivate you to achieve your wellness and leadership goals. And yeah, anything you want, anything you want to comment on with respect to benefit number 6, being a highly interactive and integrative program?
Well, I think it's also important too to have that reflection with other women who are going through similar experiences, and having that support system,
Mm-hmm.
just an accountability to a coach, but it's also letting you know that you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
If these are common challenges, but they are also a way to reflect and celebrate each other's wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very supportive community.
Yeah. And when I think on the times when I've been most successful in achieving my own personal wellness goals or health goals, or, achieving a healthy weight, in the past, even years before getting into this field of work, it's always been through the support of others in the community type of environment, right? So I think you're really going to experience a lot of that in this program. And then the benefit number 7 is there are two program options here to choose from to really meet your unique well-being and leadership needs and goals, right? And so you can come into a group, as you'll see in the registration options. You'll come into either a group program for 6 months, or you can register for our group program. So the first one is called Synergy, and the second option is Fusion, where we fuse one-on-one coaching in with the synergistic benefits of being in a group environment, right? So you'll have two options. And so the second option, the Fusion option, will of course be dependent on space availability. So the earlier you sign up, once we do launch this program, the more likely you'll have, to get into that, should you want to get into that second option, right? And the Fusion option allows for, through that one-on-one coaching, I guess, a more private environment for addressing any sensitive wellness or leadership challenges and needs, or maybe any long-standing issues that you really want and need the extra support of a coach to work through, right? And then also, as we mentioned earlier about the stress mastery, you're going to get, depending on which option, but both options have some elements of wellness assessments in them, and maybe some leadership assessments. But if you come into the option 2 with that coaching on the Fusion option, you will also experience, and it's an incredible tool, the stress mastery questionnaire and the tools related to that. And we'll just really help you do a deeper dive into stress mastery through one-on-one coaching. And both Melody and I have had extensive experience in working with leaders and executives in using that tool, and have had quite a number of breakthroughs. Would you agree, Melody,
Absolutely.
in
I
that
love
tool?
this tool. I
Yeah.
think the first time I did the questionnaire myself, it was so eye-opening. And there was so many
Mm-hmm.
things about stress I just wasn't even aware of.
Yeah,
And I think that's the key, because you cannot change what you're not aware of.
absolutely.
And there's a huge awareness about what actually is stress.
Mm,
There's our common everyday, what we experience in the now of what
yeah.
stress is, or all, the overwhelming, responsibilities and whatnot. But there are other things that we do on a daily basis that we're not aware actually are contributing to that, let's call it a bucket
Mm,
of chronic stress.
yeah.
And so when you can become aware of those other things that you're doing, and pick and choose, then how am I going to chip away at the level of chronic stress I'm carrying?
Mm-hmm.
There are some really easy things. If you have the perspectives and you understand, like, oh, well, that one's easy. I can, that's an easy perspective to
Yeah.
change, but that's an easy one to take off the list. And when you can gently bring down that level of chronic stress, everything else becomes easier.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's an absolutely phenomenal awareness tool.
Yeah.
And it's validated. It's scientifically validated,
Yeah.
and it's been in use for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do this with all of my one-on-one clients as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then wrapping up here, then benefit number nine is again I've already mentioned the the fusion option, and so you really do get that personalized support, both through a group environment, but also through the one-on-one coaching. And we have a number of, including Melody and myself, we have a number of other graduates who may be certainly joining us, and that you'll also have the benefit of maybe doing a chemistry test with to see if they might be the best coach to work with, right? And Melody and myself will be the two primary coaches slash facilitators. But let's just say we get an overwhelming demand for the fusion option and for the coaching support, the one-on-one coaching support. We have a lot of coaches at our disposal to bring into the program, right? So, and really, as Melody also addressed, there's probably going to be topics and issues that maybe relate to, midlife challenges relating to perimenopause and menopause and the impact on your personal well-being and your leadership performance. So there are some topical areas that certainly, can get a little more deeper into through the one-on-one coaching, if you will.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, we all have different experiences and backgrounds, and my health challenges 20 years ago were, you know, pretty severe.
Yeah.
I was, it was one of those, when the doctor says, "Oh, your tests are all fine, you're fine," except you're not. There are gaps in that
Yes.
conventional medical system that they just don't address a lot
Yeah.
of women's health issues. And I think
Yeah.
that's, things
Yeah.
are
And
starting to change now, but I think, we're in a unique position that we understand those challenges. We've both been through,
mhm,
you know,
yeah.
these changing years, and I'm just in awe about how much power there is in the foods that we eat and the sleep
Yeah.
quality and all of these other things and the stress management
Yeah.
that really help contribute to improving that quality of health and your life. So
Yeah. And again, our leadership performance for sure. So then to wrap up in terms of the benefit number 10, which I think we've addressed, but it really can't be overstated. The power and benefits of the daily support and encouragement you will receive from us as facilitator coaches and other women leaders, right? And you're going to, I think Melody said, you're going to quickly realize that you're not alone in your daily struggle to harmonize your life and your wellness and your professional demands. And we sometimes we just can't figure it out on our own. We really need the support of others, right? And it might even be that you're under medical care, which is completely understandable and happens a lot, but through what we can offer and the coaching and the group program can just help, be another tool in your toolkit, if you will, along with the medical support you may be receiving, right?
yeah,
And you know, it's really about taking those small baby steps that's really going to lead to big discoveries, profound changes, and the personal freedoms that we all want, right? And that harmony that we're all looking for as women leaders today, right? In a very demanding landscape, as I said earlier. And Melody, before I wrap up, is there anything further you want to add then?
no, I think, well, just maybe one quick thing. I mean, we do understand as well, from having coached other executive leaders. I mean, it can be a lonely position at the top, and
Yes, very much so.
and you don't typically share a lot of your personal challenges and struggles with people that you're, leading.
Mm,
And so other executives have commented on this, is that, it's a very lonely place at the top. We need someone to talk to
yeah,
who gets it, and where it's, we can still remain, have our private issues as private, and not
yeah.
bring them into the workplace so much, and still excel at what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicely said. So, thank you. Thank you for watching this introduction to New Vibrations, which will be launching January 12th, 2026. And you'll be able to sign up at that time to start the program immediately or whenever you're ready, I guess, right? And as we mentioned, as a participant, you'll have 6 months to really fully immerse yourself in and complete the program. And then you can certainly sign up for more months if you wish. So to stay informed and receive notifications about program announcements and updates, registration options, certainly follow my page on LinkedIn or Melody's. Go to our website, workplacewellnesscoe.com, or follow our Workplace Wellness COE LinkedIn page. And so, in closing, New Vibrations is really poised to become one of the most invigorating and profound programs ever created for women leaders and entrepreneurs. And I don't say that lightly, okay? I've given this a lot of thought and we've really put a lot into this program. And so I really feel it's going to be guaranteed to ignite your personal well being and really awaken that inner spirit and power and influence as a woman and a leader. Okay. So we really look forward to helping you experience new vibrations in your journey of transformation and enlightenment and empowerment. And, let's make this happen together. Okay. All right. Thank you, Melody. Look forward to seeing you in the program. And bye for now, everyone. Take care.